Now, sitting down at number 5, I have the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, I kind of covered them a little bit when I talked about the Bills. Like I said, their defense played fantastic in the first half. They had 4 turnovers. They took 2 picks from Josh Allen, which isn't easy. But the offense couldn't answer back. They couldn't pick up their end of the slack. Stafford was completed on 29 out of 41 passes. For 240 yards. He made 1 touchdown, but threw 3 interceptions on the day, and he took 7 sacks. So his passer rating was a 63. It's not really what one would consider a good game for him. Their O-line is going to have to step up big time moving forward because there are some really good defensive lines in the league this year. Cooper Kupp was really their only bright spot on offense. He had a great game. And yeah, I think the Rams experienced a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover in this game, but we all know what they're capable of. Their roster isn't any worse than last year, so just because they had a bad game, I'm not going to drop them down too far, and I think number 5 is a good, comfortable spot. So yeah, they essentially switched places with the Chargers this week. So yeah, moving forward, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the Raiders fell to the Chargers 24-19. I mean, their defense did a good job of keeping this game within reach. They only lost by 5 points. Derek Carr did take 5. He did take 5 sacks on the day. He didn't really have a very good game. He completed 22 for 37 passes for 295 yards, threw 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. And he's going to have to step it up going forward. He sent the ball over to his new favorite target, Davante Adams, 17 times, and he only connected on 10 of those passes, whereas the second most targeted receiver on the day was their tight end, Darren Waller, and he was only targeted 6 times. I think that's something that's going to have to change moving forward. I think they're going to have to, if they want to win games, he needs to share that ball around. I understand he was uncomfortable in the pocket, getting sacked 5 times on the day, but Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow are very, very capable wide receivers, and they were not looked to enough in this game. I understand that Davante Adams is one of the best receivers in the league, but if you want to win games, you got to include more than just one guy in the offense. I mean, they do got to do better. Their defensive line has to do a better job getting in the backfield. They did get 5 tackles for losses, but they didn't have a single sack on the day. But at the end of the day, even though their offense struggled a little bit, they played against, a top 3 defense in the league. And they played well enough. This team played well enough against my number 2 team to keep them relatively in the same spot that they were. I have a few teams dropping out of the top 10, so it's actually going to move them up from number 7 to number 6. But yeah, if they want to win this division, right now I have them ranked 3rd in the division, so their offense is going to have to step it up. Carr is going to have to step it up. He's a fantastic quarterback. I know we've all seen what he's capable of, but they have some tough battles ahead of them. So yeah, I have them at number 6. Now, at number 7, I have the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are my biggest riser this week. I have them jumping up from 21 to number 7. They just moved up 14 places. It was put up or shut up time for them this week. They were playing against a somewhat weakened Green Bay Packers roster, but it's still, they're still a fantastic defense, and they completely upset them 23-7. They won on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. I mean, they held Aaron Rodgers to 7 points. The Aaron Rodgers led team to 7 points, and they were able to put up 23 on a very good, very skilled defense. Kirk Cousins himself, he completed 23 out of 32 passes for 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, not a single interception on the day, which is big because last year interceptions were a little bit of an issue for him. He did take a sack, but overall his passer rating was 118. And I think we've all been saying it for a while. Kirk Cousins has always kind of been like a very underrated quarterback, and I just hope that he proves us all right this year and brings these Vikings to the playoffs. I mean, how great would it be to see them win the NFC North this year? That would just be fantastic. Their offense did receive a huge boost from the running game. They rushed the ball 28 times for 126 yards, and they averaged 4.5 yards per carry. That's fantastic. Justin Jefferson had an insane game. He caught the ball 9 times for 184 yards. He averaged over 20 yards per catch, and he scored 2 touchdowns, with his longest catch of the day being 64 yards. They didn't have a single turnover on the day. Their defense did a pretty good job of getting in their opponent's backfield. They had 4 sacks and 3 tackles for loss. And yeah, I mean, it was just total dominance for them in this game, and they proved that they are here to compete. So yeah, I have them moving up from 27, jumping up 14 places, from 21 to number 7. Moving forward, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals this week dropped from number 4 to number 8. They were upset in overtime by the Steelers. Joe Burrow did not have his best game. He completed 33 out of 53 passes, which is a lot of attempts, for 338 yards. He only averaged 6.4 yards. He did throw for 2 touchdowns, but the back end of that is he threw 4 interceptions, which is not good. That's something that they need to clean up, because they're in a stacked division, and if they want to find themselves having the same success that they had last year, that 4 interceptions is not good. This new look O-line did not look good. Joe Burrow got sacked 7 times in this game, and his overall passer rating was a 61. I mean, to be fair, this game came down to the wire, and they had the win stolen from them by Minkah Fitzpatrick. They scored a touchdown with 2 seconds left on the clock in the 4th quarter, and it was tied 20-20. All they had to do was kick the PAT, and that was game. And Minkah Fitzpatrick had, the play of the week, blocking that PAT, sending the game to overtime, and giving the Steelers a chance to win. And that's what they did. The Steelers kicked a field goal and beat the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20. I gotta say, their rushing attack wasn't perfect. I mean, Joe Burrow is their best rusher on the day. He kind of averaged. He helped balance it out a little bit. They attempted to rush the ball 34 times on the day, adding up to 133 yards, and averaging 3.9. But that is with him rushing the ball, and he himself averaged something like, I think it was like 6 yards per carry. Let me double check that. 7.8. Joe Burrow averaged 7.8 yards per rush. Joe Mixon did not have a very good day. He carried the ball 27 times for only 82 yards, averaging 3 yards per rush. And his longest rush of the day was 31. So really, realistically, like, he actually had a worse day than it looks on paper. T. Higgins did not help out as much as he did last year in the playoffs. He only had 2 receptions on the day for 27 yards. He was very quiet. And yeah, I mean, this is a good team. They're really talented. They just made it to the Super Bowl last year. We know they can win games. We know they can surprise everybody. But the thing I was surprised most about was the fact that they just rebuilt their O-line, and Joe Burrow was sacked 7 times. He wasn't even. Their O-line was so much worse last year, and he did a better job of calling out blitzes, and it's something he's elite at. So seeing him take 7 sacks is scary, and part of that is attributed to how good that Steelers defensive line is. But I do have to say, TJ Watt getting hurt is huge. That's a huge loss for the Steelers, and that's going to hurt them in my ranking this week, or else they probably would be higher than where I have them at. So yeah, I had the Bengals falling from number 4 to number 8.